Ew, ew. Hold on, man. I want to hear my tunes. As y'all just heard, that was from my youngin Michael. That's part of our interview that we did. You guys check that out. You'll be able to see the full interview if you go to our videos and whatnot, just on our page. We're gonna play just a little in the background. We already gave y'all the 5 minutes. We're trying some new things. Shout out to Big Bro Doug in the building. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got a full packed heavy show for y'all today. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. We got a lot to talk about. I'm gonna make sure that we stay on task as much as we can, so that way we can get through everything. But we got a lot. It's a YouTube folk, about half on YouTube, half on X. We're gonna talk about some of the comments that Dr. Umar made on Barack Obama, in which he called him the first gay president and for pushing the LGBTQ agenda. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about RFK Jr., some of the things that are going on. There was actually some things that came up on the COVID vaccine. I think we were going to discuss it last show that we never discussed, so we'll touch on that. Oh, so my big bro Doug, he just texted me. He said that the audio was not working for the all right, so we'll figure that out. We're trying something new a little bit. Instead of just using the regular timer, we're going to use the timer. Oh, almost overflowed my water. Hold on. I'm gonna try to play like an intro video for you guys. So we're messing around with that. We'll get better. I think that it's because it's not a window on sometimes when it's not a window on the internet, it doesn't allow us to play the audio, but it's all good. We'll get that figured out. So we got a lot to touch on. I actually should play some of it now. But that was from an interview that I did with this young 12-year-old entrepreneur. When I tell you, and the reason why I wanted to play it was because some of the things that he's discussing in that interview, like schooling, that you would not expect a 12-year-old to talk about, where he thinks that school is a waste of time. He's already an entrepreneur. What can the teachers teach him? This mindset that he has at such a young age, it was pretty dope. Why is Joe Budden on the cover for today? All right, so Joe Budden podcast, they had a discussion on men's happiness, focused on like men's mental health, that I want to touch on with you guys, get your perspective. I think they had Mark Lamont Hill on there, and they were having these conversations. So that's why Joe Budden is on the pod. Shout out to Ant in the building. What else do we have today? We got a bunch of stuff today. Bunch of stuff that I was going to talk about that we're not. We're going to talk about, we may go back to, we're supposed to discuss the sanctuary city for transgenders in Boston. Apparently there's like a cult running around. We're going to talk about that transgender cult. So watch what you say. All joking aside, like apparently like a few people have been murdered, or I don't know, allegedly. We're going to look at the story that they got. We're going to get some feedback from you guys on Trump getting rid of congestion pricing. Has sent Jasmine Crockett, Sonny Houston, and all of the other Democrats, fanatics, into a panic because he put a tweet up talking about long live the king. And now everybody, like, he's just like, yo, Trump's troll is on a whole nother level. So we'll talk about that as well. I don't know who has better trolling game, Trump or Elon, but it seems like they're both very good at getting under people's skin. So we'll take a look at that. I already told you, let's just actually get into some of this stuff. Let me go to the bookmarks. We're gonna spend a lot of time on some of the shorter videos on X, but I'm gonna play a couple interesting ones. So let's start off. Do I have both of these Jasmine Crockett videos? Because I'd like to start off with both of these if I can. We do. Hold on one second. All right, I want to make sure that we save, because these are 3 videos that we're going to play back to back. All right, so let's start off with this Jasmine Crockett video. And she was, I guess, having a conversation about, apparently there's some money that may be coming back to us because of Doge. So let's take a look at this video. I want to get your guys' thoughts. See if you guys are excited about it. See if you're not. Get your thoughts on it. Let me share the screen. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. My screen seems to be acting up today. All right, so we'll share this. Get your guys' thoughts. And like I said, we got a lot to get through today. So we're gonna try to move in a fast pace. Do not let me go off on a tangent today. Yeah, don't let me do that. All right, let's start it off. Jasmine Crockett, you have the floor.
$1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or decide.
Real quickly, I wanted to let it play through, and there's only about 30 more seconds left. Wasn't the question about Doge and Trump giving 5,000 back? Why did she just completely move the conversation to talk about the COVID checks and to try to discredit Trump's and his involvement for COVID checks? Just wondering.
That we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence.
Y'all can already hear the fear mongering coming. Because RFK Jr. is the health secretary, and because he's not all jumping up and down and bought and paid for by big pharma, who are going to make these vaccines that they can make so much money off of, then we should be scared because we may have another pandemic and Ebola's already on its way. That's what I heard. What did y'all hear?
So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
We are not in the business of giving out money, and I don't know what $5,000 will do for you. How do y'all feel about that? Aren't these the same people marching around talking about reparations? Aren't these the same people? It's 5,000s won't do anything. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to take credit for this one. I'm not even going to take credit for this one. I want this gentleman that I found this video of. I'm going to give him the floor, and you guys tell me what you think, and then I'll comment after that.
You mean to tell me you ain't in the business of giving away money?
We are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
What? Bitch, what? You mean to tell me you ain't in the business of giving away money? What the fuck is the immigrants then, bitch? What the fuck is the immigrants? Huh? You don't give away fucking money. What is USAID? Bitch! What is that? Bitch! What is that? Huh? You don't give away no motherfucking money. These people are fucking crazy. This is a fucking clown world we live in. Am I retarded? Am I the one slow? Because you can't make me believe I didn't hear them people say they was gonna give away $25,000 to new people to get fucking houses. You can't make me believe that. That sounds like giving away some fucking money.
Is bro right? It's so this is what I keep telling y'all about when intelligent people say things that do not make sense and that is not consistent with the things that they've been saying or the other agenda items that they're pushing. We are not in the business of giving away money. Could you imagine if Donald Trump was asked about reparations and his response was, look, we're not in the business of giving away money. Jasmine Crockett supported Kamala Harris and Joe Biden giving away, what was it, 25,000, like bro said, so migrants could have homes. And the Democrats are the party of social programs, welfare, housing assistance, all these different things. And now you say you're not in the business of giving away money. Trump really has these people rattled. He's taken them completely off of their game to where they don't even know like where they are. Like their equilibrium is off. And we're going to talk about it later on when we talk about the congestion pricing. Like they don't even, Democrats and liberals, it's like they don't even know what side of the argument they want to be on. And it goes back to what we always talk about. They have no stance. So therefore, like they just always find themselves, well, what did Trump do? All right, we're going against it. And they don't even realize that like a lot of times you're doing a disservice to the people that you actually say that you're working for, the working class. But let's keep going. Let bro finish.
Jasmine, that sound like we're giving away shit. Jasmine Crockett, you stupid batshit motherfucker. Take the dumb ass wig off.
Ed.
Bitch. Take the wig off.
All right, so let me read some of these comments real quick. Let me read some of these comments, and then we got one more video on that because dude actually did a part 2. All right, so Ant wrote, Dr. Mark Lamont Hill is a regular on the pod. He's actually funnier than I thought. Seems very well educated. Big DI supporter though. Feels very blue. Yeah, he's the ultimate. He's a big liberal. But I rock with Mark Lamont Hill. I rock with him. Eb says she's so raggedy, but her ass supports reparations now because it's Trump's idea. There's no money. This is exactly my thoughts. I'm like, Trump can really do no good with certain people. Trump can really do no good with certain people. And this is why when I have conversations with people that vote Democrat, it's like, bro, you don't even realize that the people that you're voting for are so emotionally engaged in politics that they don't even support the things that are helping you as the person that votes for them because they're so fanatical about their hatred for Trump. So therefore, anything that Trump does, they try to shut it down and they try to sell it to you as something that's bad. Like, what are you upset about when it comes? Hey, Aisheba Sekmet. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. My apologies if I'm not. She's a fool. It's bad. It's bad. Eb said she's so disingenuous, fake as her wig and lashes. I can't stand how she uses her voice. So educated, yet such a tool. I'm glad that you said, Eb just said a lot in that. Disingenuous, fake as her wig and lashes. I agree. But I can't stand how she uses her voice. And Eb, I don't know what exactly you mean by that, but I'll tell you, this is how I receive that. She could be such a powerful voice for the right things. She could be just as strong and powerful as she's trying to be for these irrational ideas, whether it's the woke ideologies or just trying to do the hatred for Trump thing, the whole Trump derangement syndrome, just as loud and proud and strong as she could be when she's standing up there with Ayanna Pressley talking about reparations. She could actually be using her voice for something beneficial to the people that she's supposed to serve. But instead, it's just more propaganda, more fear mongering, and everything else that the Democratic Party pushes her to do. All right, so dude definitely blew a gasket. Well, wait till you see the next video. Morning, Ev. Ain't no way you pronounced that correctly. I know. Hold on, we're gonna get it on the back end. E. Sheba Sekmet. Or I'm sorry, El Sheba Sekmet. El Sheba Sekmet. I'm just not sure if, no, I think that's an I because everything is capitalized. Ant, relax, baby. I told y'all no tangents. Like, so Ed, bro, exactly. On paper, she looks like someone little black girls should absolutely look up to, but the shit she says is not helpful to our community. Exactly. My thoughts, exactly. All right, so let's look at the second video. I want to look at the second video that bro did. Hold on one second. Let me find the second video. It should be right here. All right, this is the second video. Homie is losing it, bro. Homie is losing it. Why y'all put my man in this position, man, to be losing his ish?
can't fucking let it go. I can't let that shit go. So Jasmine Crockett, if $5,000 ain't shit to the American people, what the fuck was $750 gonna do for the people that just lost every fucking thing?
Woo! If $5,000 isn't anything to the American people, then what was 750? Didn't y'all just give 750 to the FEMA people, or no? Was 750 to North Carolina, or was 750 to LA for the fires? One or the other. This is the inconsistent hypocrisy that they push. Who is she talking to? And this is how they demonstrate how out of touch they are. 5,000, you give me 5,000. 5,000, I can do some things with 5,000. I'll pay off a card with 5,000 and be feeling very good about life. She's sitting here saying, what is $5,000 anyway? This is what happens when you have politicians instead of business people in office. Because to a business person, y'all tell me if I'm lying. I don't care if that business person, if somebody in business, I don't care if they're worth $5 million, if they're worth $10 million. If they feel that they can get an extra 5,000, or let's say this, if they feel that somebody took $5,000 from them, that they will stand on that $5,000. How do you think they got to earning the $5 million? But she's sitting here because she's a politician, because she's never, I don't know, because I wanted to say that a lot of these politicians, let me speak in general, because a lot of these politicians, they've never had businesses. They don't approach things from a business standpoint. They approach it from a government that can just continue to print out more money or take our money. They look at it that way. $5,000 isn't nothing. Majority of people are living check to check in America, right? And the impoverished communities that she's supposed to be representing more so, right? Her struggles for the blackity blacks as well, right? So a lot of those black communities are in poverty. Let's just keep it real. So you're telling me that 5,000, so how much are you expecting in reparations? $5,000 is nothing, but you can give it to people that just lost their homes, lost everything. You can give $750 to, and you support that. And I bet you they'd be wrong if they said, well, $750, that ain't shit. So what you giving us this for?
Huh? You was definitely campaigning for that shit. We seen you. We fucking seen you campaigning for that shit. You got some bald-headed bitch nerves to fit your lips to tell us any fucking thing. Bitch, you make $180 a year. How the fuck is you worth $9 million? Huh? You just got in office. You just had that. We just was looking at your fucking bank statements, bitch. But I do have to thank you for one thing. You just deaded the whole dumbass shit about reparations. Bring that dumbass shit up again. Bring that dumbass shit up. You talking about some y'all just, what the bald-headed bitch just said. You and the bald-headed bitch was just talking about giving away fucking reparations, but you don't give away shit. I can't do nothing with you stupid motherfuckers.
All right, we're going to let bro breathe a little bit. We're going to let bro breathe a bit. So shout out to Uncle Brother in the building. Uncle Brother wrote, Trump doesn't have them off their game. That is their game. Look at this brother's behavior. Prime example of the mental health crisis they're creating with these types of nonsensical statements. So I actually, when I looked at this video, I thought that bro was just playing. But what's funny is about what you said. See, when I say that they're off their game, I see it as them being exposed in a little bit of a different way. It just like what Eb and Aisheba said, Uncle Brother, where it's like, yeah, before she was more proper speaking. Before it was toned down a little bit. Before the rhetoric was a lot different. Now she just out here acting like a nigga. Am I lying? I feel like my grandmother used to tell my dad before he left the house, mind you, don't act like nobody's nigga. Or mind you, don't act like a nigga. That is what a lot of these politicians are turning into, and they're encouraging it. It's almost like, you know how the record labels encourage the artists to just be, just say crazier things, to act as ignorant as possible. It seems like that's what's going on with the Democratic Party's leadership. So I see it as a little bit different. You say that is their game. I see them as just being a little bit more extreme and pushing the envelope a little bit more or a lot more. But maybe that always has been their game. Maybe that always has been it. In past videos and interviews, she's all proper, but now she's acting like a stereotype. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I'm definitely with you on that. But she's acting now, and yeah, who knows what's the real side of her. I honestly hate speaking to people about business who have never owned one, let alone try and start one. Post-traumatic stress disorder or post-traumatic Trump disorder. I don't know which one you meant, Aunt, but either way, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. Bald head. Oh man. Come on. Yeah, I can't repeat that one. So a lot of profanity, but the brother has a point, in my opinion. The brother has a point. So I want to move slightly to a different conversation. So this was a conversation that was brought up. I think we were supposed to talk about it last week, but this was a debate. I believe it was Piers Morgan debating with a couple people. Well, you know, Piers Morgan always has the uncensored. Take a look at this video. And apparently one of the leaders, Deborah Birx, she was one of the leaders educating the government on the vaccines. It seems that she's changed her tune a lot. And this was one of those moments that I said on the last show that I never got to. This is one of those, I hate to say that I told you so moments, but actually I don't hate to say it, because we took a lot of heat in 2020. The people that decided that they wanted to hold off on not getting vaccines, the people that questioned the vaccines, the people that questioned a lot with COVID, where it came from, the origin, and a lot of these things that we were censored for, that we lost friends for, a lot of these things are now coming out in a different light. And a lot of the views that we had on it are proven now to be true. So let's take a look at this. You guys tell me what your thoughts are, and we'll go through it. Robbie, where you at, baby?
Good morning and welcome to Rising. We've got another great show for you today as the week continues. We're halfway through it,
It's
I
hump
think.
day.
How about that?
Things are going well.
Great. Nice to see you, Linda.
Nice to see you too,
Hey,
Robbie.
Ann,
What's
watch the
on your
lean up.
radar?
Happy to tell you. Let's get right to it. So, viewers, do you remember a woman named Deborah Birx, the lady with the colorful scarves who appeared at all those early press conferences during COVID-19? Birx was, along with Dr. Anthony Fauci, one of the main advisors to President Donald Trump and then, of course, President Joe Biden on all matters involving COVID. She was one of the foremost public health authorities crafting the government's response to the pandemic, including social distancing, masking requirements, and the promotion of vaccines. Now, I have long criticized Fauci and Birx for being all too ready to jettison civil liberties and ignore legitimate disagreement among experts about the right way to combat COVID. Some experts, for instance, initially downplayed immunity acquired from infection in their haste to promote mass vaccination for all persons regardless of their individual health statuses. Fauci subsequently admitted that he made up the guidance on 6 feet of social distancing, and other policies like mask mandates and vaccine mandates are now routinely questioned, as they should be, as having not actually done very much to fight COVID. Now, while the vaccines did a good job of reducing severe illness and death for the most at-risk population, the elderly, the obese, and the immunocompromised, they did not end up offering broad protection against infection. But that's how they were sold to the public. Joe Biden declared COVID to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated and explicitly said we wouldn't have cases of COVID if the vaccine hesitant would just stop clinging to misinformation and get the jab. He was wrong, as were other government health advocates. You can get as many COVID jabs as you want, because we all know it's not going to stop you from contracting COVID. So I was fascinated to hear Deborah Birx finally admit, at long last, exactly this. Here she was on Piers Morgan's show recently.
And what we've done wrong in public health is we didn't explain that COVID vaccines were nothing like the childhood vaccines, and that the childhood vaccines, like many of the diseases, you get it once, you don't get it again. And this is getting the children to have that disease without getting the deadly consequences. That is not what the COVID vaccine was designed to do. It wasn't designed to prevent against infection. And if you look at the vaccine hesitancy rates, they've doubled since.
Hold on. Hold on. What? Yeah. Like, are y'all listening to this? Yeah. Are y'all listening to this? Conspiracy theorists up 40. The politicians and the experts, 0. Negative. Are y'all listening to what she's saying? They played around with our health. They played around with our life. And what's so funny is a lot of the Democrats were actually saying this initially. A lot of the Democrats and the liberals were actually saying this initially. They were actually the ones that were opposed to the vaccine. But what happened was Trump was in office and he was trying to get a vaccine done quickly, right? And a lot of the Democrats, look, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. It's too soon. It's too fast to know if it's safe or not. And then as soon as Joe Biden became president, I think the next day the vaccine was released and things just switched like that. And the Democrats went into full big pharma sales mode. They went into full big pharma sales mode and tried to push these things, tried to villainize people that didn't want to get it, tried to make it seem as if you're being selfish, you're not looking out for the rest of the American people, all these different things. They completely changed their tune. They mandated it in certain states, in New York, and obviously they had to pay back a lot of those people that lost their jobs because they did not want to take the vaccine. But listen to what this lady is saying. These are the lies that they told. They pushed people to take these things. And in all actuality, they put your health at risk. Because anytime you insert something into your body, there's going to be maybe some pros, but there's going to be some cons, some things that maybe some side effects. And a lot of people that I remember a couple doctors, I had some friends that were pregnant and some lost their babies because of it. Allegedly, that's what they were saying. And when they went to the doctor's office, the first thing that the doctor asked them, because they were suffering from like some blood clots and stuff like that. And the first thing that the doctor asked was, well, did you get the vaccine? Now, I know for all the people that want to defend the vaccine by any means necessary, they'll say, well, how do you know that was caused? We don't. The same way that they didn't know that it was supposed to stop the spread because they never tested for it when Pfizer was in court saying and admitting that we never tested it for if it would actually, prevent the spread. Here, listen to what this lady's saying. She's saying it was never meant to be like other vaccines. It was never meant to be. Isn't this what RFK Jr. has been calling out from the jump? Isn't this what he's been questioning? Matter of fact, not only the fact that it was never supposed to operate like regular vaccines, but the fact that it was never tested. They never used placebo test like a lot of the other drugs that are tested. Let's keep going.
That is not what the COVID vaccine was designed to do. It wasn't designed to prevent against infection. And if you look at the vaccine hesitancy rates, they've doubled since COVID. So we have to start addressing these things. We can't just ignore them.
And Deborah, let me ask you, Deborah, I mean, given that you were the face of COVID from the Trump presidency at the time, do you share this doctor who I was with, do you share the concerns about the longer term negative impact of some of the COVID vaccines?
The messenger RNA vaccine should have been rolled out for the people that were at risk for severe disease because
it should have been rolled out for the people that were at risk for severe disease. Why were they trying to sell it to everybody, kids included? And this is why people question a lot of the vaccines that children take when they're born. This is why. But then people will say RFK Jr. is an anti-vaxxer. Like, even if RFK Jr. was an anti-vaxxer, do you not have any understanding of why, if he was, he would be like, why would that even be? Are y'all not? I don't know.
That's what the vaccine was developed for.
And here's a little bit more of that interview. Keep watching.
But when we say that we're following the science and the data, we need to follow the science and the data. And the science and the data said people primarily over 65 or people with significant comorbidities were at risk for severe disease. Those are the individuals that should have been immunized first. And we should have put our science behind our immunization schedule and protected those most at risk. It went into young people in hospitals before it went into our elderly in nursing homes. That is not following the science and the data.
They're trying to sell you stuff. This is just a sales play. Man, we are a gullible group of people. We are a gullible group of people. And what is Jasmine Crockett doing when she's talking about Ebola? They are prepping us to do the same exact thing, and we'll probably fall for it again.
I am all for following the science and the data, but it shouldn't just be a statement. It should be a reality.
Hey, Lana.
Excuse me while I pick my jaw up off the floor. This is incredible, truly incredible.
Yeah.
So I am all for following. It went into young people in hospitals before it went into our elderly in nursing homes. That is not following the science and the data. So I am all for following the science and the data, but it shouldn't just be a statement. It should be a reality.
Excuse me while I pick my jaw up off the floor. This is incredible, truly incredible. Now even Deborah Birx, who along with Fauci.
Sounds like we're starting to learn why maybe Biden decided to pardon y'all boy Fauci.
She was the highest profile purveyor of the mainstream elite consensus on COVID. She now thinks that our government, the government she was in charge of advising at the most foundational level, did not follow the science in terms of the vaccine rollout. This admission forces us to imagine a world in which the government listened to the Deborah Birx of 2025 versus the Deborah Birx of 2020. Maybe then.
All right, let's take a step back and understand, like, this is why. And a lot of people will say, well, it's just a vaccine. You know, if I didn't die from it, you know, it's not that big of a deal. With this, it's almost like it was a test to see how many people they can encourage to take something and insert something into their body with no extensive studies, no placebo studies like a lot of other medicines that we take, vaccines, cures, whatever you want to call them. It was a test to show how gullible people will be, a test to show how much they can control people with fear mongering. This, to me, is what this is. So if they could, if Biden and Kamala Harris, as Mark Zuckerberg and his Meta platforms have come out and exposed that administration for silencing the voices of people that said exactly, if you said exactly what Deborah said, think about this. If you said exactly what Deborah Birx just said in this interview, if you said it in 2020, you were censored on Meta platforms. You were villainized in your friend group, in the community. You were looked at selfish. You couldn't go to work. You couldn't go to restaurants. If you said what she just said, you were seen as a conspiracy theorist. This is the lady who was advising our government, along with Anthony Fauci, on how we should proceed with vaccines during one of the most traumatizing times of our lives. People were losing it. This was one of the people, and now the things that and this is why, and you just have to wonder why it seems like, oh, well, why are conspiracy theorists, why does it seem like their record of being right is improving and improving as we go along? And it's because they identify certain people as conspiracy theorists. They identify certain things as conspiracy theories that should never be even falling into that category, because what do? Oh, they just put, that's conspiracy theories. And then it comes out, but by the time it comes out, people already took the shot. No worries. We'll fear them with we'll use some other type of fear mongering to get them to believe in the next one. It's crazy. It's crazy. And imagine the control that they'll have on people moving forward.
The government would have worked to swiftly deploy vaccines to the elderly and the immunocompromised, while acknowledging that young people and those who had already contracted the disease were not at significant risk and could return to life, work, and school.
Think about the kids that missed, 1 or 2 years of school? Think about the development. How much a lot of these kids, it hindered their development. Because like I said, it's easy for a lot of older people to sit back and say, oh, well, it was just kind of got a year to just take off and relax, read books at the house, watch TV, no big deal. I didn't have to go into work. Think about the children who were significantly set back during the most impressionable times and important times when it comes to their development, how much it was hindered because of these lies, because of the fear mongering that was created, because of all these different things that these so-called experts put out there. We bought into it. We allowed the politicians to sell us on it because the people that are lining their pockets told them to. We allowed all this. We continue to allow people that we place on a pedestal to put our health in danger, our children's development in danger, and we see it across the board. But then we wonder why a lot of these woke ideologies and these things that are being pushed right now in our country culturally, we wonder why they're being pushed, or we don't question how much of an evil and ill intent they have because, oh, it's our government. Our government's not really going to do this. These are doctors. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's stick with politics for a little bit. We're going to move on to this Dr. Umar conversation. Yeah. Eb said she ain't falling for it. It's bad. Let me catch up with a couple of these comments. Hold on. So Eb wrote, I paid attention to international studies, what the virus was and the effectiveness of the vaccine, and chose not to vaccinate. My whole family was mad and talking shit. Now I'm right. That's a fact, Eb. And this is why it has to be said. And people need to, and the rest of the family need to acknowledge, but this is what never happens. The family members and your friends never come up to you and say like, yo, you were right. What made you think this, or what made you question this? Nobody ever asked. Nobody will ever give you that acknowledgement. They'll shun you when you're actually doing it, but then when it comes out that you're right, nobody will ever double back and say, actually, you were right. You were right. We'll celebrate these experts on TV, but never celebrate the people in our family that just did their own research. Lana wrote, good morning, sunshines. Ed wrote, I ain't falling for it. Definitely not. Shout out to my brother Skeeg in the building. Aisheba said it's a chip in it. A lot of people saying they putting chips in y'all bodies. They trying to own your DNA. I wouldn't dispute that. I wouldn't dispute it. You just hit it. The population are nothing but lab rats to those in power. The test is to see what they can get away with. Nonsense is the play that keeps people easily under control. Uncle brother, I'm with you on it. Big facts, Eb from Amp. I did not take it from me. I did not take it for me to be right, so I don't need anyone to double back. No, you're missing the point, and it's not about doubling back. It's about acknowledgement. They should want to double back. We're living in a society where people do not acknowledge when they're wrong. When you do not acknowledge certain shortcomings, when you do not acknowledge when you're wrong, it's going to put you in a position where you're likely to be getting taken advantage of. And I don't know about you. Ant doesn't need you to double back. Nah, I need people to double back. That's what should be done. When you're wrong about something, you should acknowledge something. When you talk ish about somebody, when you try to villainize somebody in your family, then you should come back to that person and admit that, hey, these things and how I was looking at you was wrong. Ant, I just need to keep living. All right, Ant. You and your friends with benefits. We'll see you on Sunday. They're still getting boosted. Shaking my head. This is why they need to double back, Ed. Because when people don't acknowledge certain things, they're going to continue doing the same behavior. And their kids and the people that they have influence over are going to continue doing the same things and putting people at risk and establishing certain things. Nah, man. People got to acknowledge when they're wrong, bro. I'm with it. Ant, you high road. Man. All right. Let's move on to this Dr. Umar video. You guys give me your thoughts. On this one. All right, boom, boom, boom.
Sexuality in the black community, we would have rejected.
Because Dr. Umar Johnson has said something that I agree with and something we've been saying on plant for the LGBT.
Hold on, sorry.
He's saying that Obama was a plant for the LGBTQIA plus silent P crowd. Let's play the clip.
One of the reasons Barack Obama was made president is so he could normalize the LGBTQ agenda in the black community. Think about it. If George Bush tried to push homosexuality in the black community, we would have rejected him.
Of course.
If Donald Trump tried to push homosexuality in the black community, we would have rejected him.
Of course.
You could only normalize that through a blackface.
Through a black man.
Obama was made president to make it normal. When Barack Obama became president, homosexuality was not a mainstream issue, nor was it accepted as a mainstream alternative to the traditional family.
I gotta look at
By the time he left office in 2008, they were completely running everything.
Was
and
that
if
the
you
year?
even disagreed with, I'm gonna give you an example.
It is.
I do
You
a
might
lot
be
of
right.
graduation speeches, right? At the June.
Okay.
Elementary school, middle school, high school. I normally do about 20 graduation speeches a season.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
When Barack Obama was president, I might have did 5. It dropped significantly. Schools who I normally did their commencement, they was calling me up, Dr. Umar, we can't have you speak this year. Why? The LGBTQ say you don't agree with them, you can't speak. I said, but this is a graduation speech. This ain't politics. This is motivation. Get ready for the rest of your life.
Right.
What does LGBT got to do with my 10-minute speech motivating these 12th graders to make sure you do well in college?
Right.
Well, we have LGBT teachers and they're saying you're insensitive and you're homophobic. So I saw how not agreeing with the lifestyle could limit your opportunities in life. You had people getting fired from jobs, not for pushing hate, because I don't agree with hate.
Right.
I don't agree with the lifestyle.
Right.
But I don't want harm for any human, no matter what their situation is.
That's the way to do it.
But the way that they did it was the LGBTQ said, to disagree with me is to hate me. They created a narrative that if you disagree, you support violence against me.
Right.
You don't want us to work. You want us to be shot, killed, man. We never said that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
We just said we don't agree with the lifestyle.
Right.
But they turned it into a whole campaign against anybody who disagreed with it. And that's another reason why a lot of people didn't vote for Kamala Harris, black men, because they got tired of the effeminization. And then they took it to Africa. Obama started it. He went to Africa. He went to Liberia. He went to Rwanda, a couple other places. He said, if you don't legalize gay marriage, we cutting off your aid.
Is he wrong on anything? I don't know. Matter of fact, we're just gonna let this play. We're gonna let it play. I think they had an interesting interaction, and I want to play a little bit more because they share a view similar to me when it comes to Dr. Umar. Some of the things I disagree with Dr. Umar, like anybody, but he's very passionate about certain things that I think he hits the nail on the head with. But y'all take a listen. Y'all tell me what y'all thoughts are. Do you think Obama was used as a plant? Do you think he was used as a tool when it comes to pushing a lot of these LGBTQ agendas? Because remember, when Barack Obama became president, black people, we were so excited to get him in office. But once he was in office, we didn't he could do no wrong. We were more concerned about how Michelle was going to dress at an event than the policies that Barack Obama was pushing. We didn't even pay attention. Nobody really knows it. We never even paid attention to the stuff that he was pushing. Never paid attention to it. Never paid attention to it. And then you have to ask yourself, if you can get black people to excuse certain things or to not pay attention to something when it comes to the LGBTQ community, then you can really push it on all of America and American culture. Because when you really look at it, in the black community, there was probably more of a stigma on LGBTQ than a lot of other communities in America. But using Barack Obama to push this excused it because we were just looking at it. Well, Barack said it's cool, then it's cool. Barack rocking with it.
That's some of the best work I've ever heard from Umar. It's why.
And y'all do me a favor. Ski just reminded me, make sure that you like. That's going to help the algorithm. So do me a favor. Take a second right now. Do me a favor. Take a second right now. Just hit the like button. Please just hit the like button. All right. Thank you.
Umar will do some silly things, say some things I disagree with. and who knows what he's done with the money for his schools. And I don't say that in a disparaging fashion, but Umar says a lot of things that I disagree with, but he also says a lot of things that I have to just tip my hat and say, hey, man, I appreciate you saying that, because that breakdown of the consequences of not being on board with the LGBTQIA plus silent P alphabet mafia agenda. That's what no one ever wants to talk about it. And like me doing this show the way that I've done it, I know the consequences in terms of, I'm untouchable. I'm reviled in legacy media because the gay crowd has so much influence over human resources departments throughout corporate America that, you know, I'm as toxic and as nuclear as you could possibly be. And it does cost you opportunities. And you sit around and you wonder why Stephen A. Smith or some of these other people, it's like they always tip their hat and bow to the transgenders and the gay deal and all this other stuff, because they know that's the only way to keep the money flowing. And Umar just pointed it out in a hats off to Umar. Anyway.
Do y'all remember when even in sports they were trying to, for pride, they were trying to have, I think it was, they were trying to have like a couple baseball players, or maybe they did it across the board when it came to sports, but a couple baseball players stood up and said, we're not doing that. And I think a couple hockey players, they said, nah, we're not rocking with that. And they were made out to be villains for not supporting this agenda, supporting this movement. That's what they try to do, in my opinion. When you look at it, a lot of times we talk about other groups and the power that they have because you can't even mention them, right? Me not even mentioning them, right? But look at the LGBTQ. They got that same power. They have the same power in a lot of ways. I think, I'm not even going to say the same power, but when Barack Obama maybe was in office, they had the same power. I wouldn't say that they have the same power now. But I'm in agreement. Let's kind of just leave that there. I think, well, let's see if Shamika,
your thoughts,
we'll give Shamika a second to give her thoughts.
I completely agree with him in this take also, Jason.
Oh,
I can remember it was like 2015, 2016. I did a video and it was titled, Get This Gay SHIT Off TV, because I remember watching.
Actually, we got to hear this discussion. I forgot where they're about to go with it. Pay attention to this, and I want y'all to tell me if y'all noticed this in the shows that y'all are watching as well.
Empire during this time, and they had.
This is why I stopped watching Empire. I remember that a long time ago, and I just remembered it when she said it.
So many gay scenes. Like there was one scene where a spouse or a partner, whatever, walked in on his other partner who was on his knees and the guy's pants were open. For me, I was like, this is regular TV. Why is this coming on at 8 o'clock on a Thursday? Kids are still awake. This is not cable TV or what was known as cable TV back in the day. This is so wrong. And I can remember people coming after me being so upset that trans Madison something, she came after me. Video just went viral. But my problem was during this time, during Obama's second term, is when I began to see it was rampant and it was all over the place. And they were asking kids in school, what do you want to be called? A she or a he? And they were saying, are you a prince or are you a princess? And you don't give young children that choice. And it was like out of nowhere. And as he said, George Bush wasn't pushing that. It was pushed under Obama. The whole legalization of gay marriage, this was all Obama. And that's what kind of began to open my eyes, because of course I was one of the ones in 2008 that voted for Obama simply because he was Black. I fell for it. And then during his second term, I was thinking something's not right. And that's what it was for me. It was the whole LGBTQ agenda that, he was pushing. I think he was the first president that lit the White House in rainbow or whatever. It was ridiculous, and it was all over the place. And as a mom who had kids in school at the time, it really upset me. So I appreciate Umar for saying this, and I do understand, and I agree with what he's saying. They come after you if you just say anything against it. I did a video against Nas X when he did the whole devil video.
I want to fast forward a little bit to Jason Whitlock talking about The Wire and a few other shows,
TV shows,
that it came up in.
The Wire, in movies, Brubaker, anything about, and I'll stand by that. It's a great show.
You guys remember
now,
this?
even when I look back at The Wire, which is my favorite TV show of all time, and I'll stand by that. It's a great show. But it was, they intentionally
Ursi, are you serious?
made the two most heroic characters, Omar Little, I don't know if you watched this, The Wire, Omar Little, and then this black woman cop, Kima. They were the most righteous and ethically, both of them was gay. And this is not by accident. And so when you thought about the people that had the most integrity as it relates to The Wire, it was the Omar, the gunman, that robbed people and was the honorable drug robber or whatever, and then Kima, the cop. These were the most honorable, ethical people. And I was like, this isn't by accident. So for me, I can love The Wire, continue to watch it. And The Wire had great impact on my worldview. And at that time, in whatever years this was, in the early 2000s, I got to say The Wire was effective in influencing me into thinking like, yeah, we just got to be more accepting of the LGBTQIA, blah, blah, blah. And I remember thinking that because I had so much respect for Omar Little. And so the programming and the manipulation has always been there. And so now I've reached the point, and maybe I've just gotten too righteous, too old, too fuddy-duddy.
Listen to this one.
I want to see no sex in none of these TV shows or movies. It's all pointless. It's all unnecessary. Don't show me heterosexual sex. Certainly don't show me gay sex.
Boogie
but
bug.
I get uncomfortable. Even when it's heterosexual sex, I'm just like, why are they doing this? This is a waste of time. I don't.
Yes.
They doing it for the same reasons that they putting it on Instagram, X, whatever. It's all to influence culture, in my opinion, and it comes in the form of entertainment. So we just naturally start accepting things when your favorite characters on a lot of these TV shows are the people that you look at of having the most integrity and moral compass. When those individuals are the ones that align, it's going to push and promote the culture in that direction. And let me be very clear. Whenever we talk about the LGBTQ movement, I think for me, maybe this is just me being comfortable because I think about a lot of the people that, I have in my circle that fall into this category, or the ones that do. And I always want to make sure that I separate the actual movement from the actual people. A lot of the stuff that's being pushed and how aggressively it's being pushed, a lot of the people that I speak to in the LGBTQ community, they don't want that stuff either, because it actually it shines a light on them, or puts a lot of, it makes them a target for a lot of this stuff as well. And to Jason Whitlock's point, it's almost like, why does sex need to be shown on TV anyway? Why does there need to be a sex scene? So I would be cool if a lot of this stuff was taken out. I don't know why. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think when you acknowledge how much it impacts you, then maybe that's why you can now move to a place where you're like, yo, what does this need to even be on TV for in the first place? But let's move on. We got Boog, who just joined. Urs just said something wild. And let me say what Ebony said a little bit earlier, where everybody in power looks out for their own. Obama was no different. Kamala brought in immigrants because of her parents. Trump has all the white folks feeling empowered. Okay. One of the reasons I stopped watching regular TV, the random agendas were unsettling, and I'm grown. And this is wild. Urs wrote, Netflix requires 10% of characters in movies or series to be homosexual. It's required. And this is the thing, like, why create, like, it's like you're trying to create some level of animosity when you do stuff like this. It's like, why are you trying to push it down people's? Why are you trying to jam it? Why are you trying to? Yeah, that's crazy. Can't even say a word out here without hearing Ant in my head saying no homo. Or I'm sorry, you can't say, hold on. My bad. I forgot it was changed to, wow. I'm going to get in trouble. My apologies. No homo was not what I meant to say. It's the pause. The only reason why I said that, because that's where the pause came from. People were saying that, and then it came out that it was offensive. So, and there's nothing wrong with me. Let me be very clear. There's nothing wrong with, I know some people who are Christian and they tie their views on this to their religious beliefs. They'll say that there's something wrong with being gay. They'll reference Sodom and Gomorrah, all these different things that you can reference. Even actually, if you look at, when it comes to the transgender community, when you look at the history of Hitler and Germany and when Hitler came into power, neither here nor there. But I personally, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue. I'm not one of these people that say this is wrong. Not at all. It's just the saying that people use when they're trying to say something that sounds funny. It's just a funny thing. Yo, why am I explaining this? You see what I'm saying? All right, moving on. Ev said, I say that all the time. Take the sex out and put in a better plot. Facts. You're definitely not tripping. They make it a point and will take down an entire series for no DEI or homosexuality. Sex sells. That's why. Disgusting. I agree. Antonice in the building. Shout out to Antonice. Make sure that y'all like. Show all that sex. Antonice said, good morning, y'all. That is wild. No, they're trying to create normalcy. Pause. It was a part of the communist agenda. Antonice be on it. Dak explaining no evolution of pause using religion and Hitler is exactly why I told it. Yo, I told y'all, man, my mind is always moving my mind is all over the place. Which reminds me of an interview that Elon Musk did, or Elon Musk's dad did, that we may talk about a little bit later. But yo, I told y'all no tangents today. Let's look at this. This is wild to me. Like, this is when I was talking about, apparently there's some cult, allegedly there's a transgender cult going around and there's some killings linked to them. So maybe I need to chill out a little bit, but y'all take a look at this.
We're learning new details in the bizarre story of a cult allegedly linked to the killing of a U.S. Border Patrol agent, David Mayland. On Sunday, Maryland State Police arrested 3 alleged members of the group known as Zizians. Among them, the alleged leader, who was ordered held without bond by a Maryland court yesterday. They joined 2 already in custody. The Zizians, just so you know, have been tied to 6 killings across 3 states. So one of those was the U.S. Border Patrol agent, Mayland. He died on Inauguration Day, January 20th, near the Canadian border in Vermont. And 2 others who were killed were alleged members of the cult. National correspondent Griff Jenkins has more. And so, Griff, this will be the first time many of us will hear of Zizians, but apparently the feds have been watching them for a while.
They have. And good morning, Harris. This has all the makings of a Netflix cult docudrama. These Zizians appear to be a group of mostly transgender computer scientists who met online, united in anarchist beliefs, including radical veganism, and turned violent. The 3 members of the cult you mentioned arrested.
I mean, see, they giving us meat eaters watching the pause, right? Yeah. They're giving us non-animal eating folk a bad. Come on, man. What are y'all doing? They just had to throw the vegan in there. Yo, first off, why did Fox even have to say that? That's a little, I see what y'all did right there. They try to throw in and they're vegan too, radical vegans. Like, I wonder how much that plays into it. I don't know.
On charges of trespassing and gun possession in a very remote area of Maryland. It included the alleged leader. You see here, 34-year-old Jack Lasota on the left side of your screen. He goes by the name Ziz. There are 2 other members as well. Allegheny County's sheriff says he has no idea why they were there.
They gave different names, which is a telltale sign they're trying to hide something. So that's why I believe the officers checked a little further started running some more checks. The only thing that I'm curious about is why they chose this particular area to try to camp out at. And we're still developing that.
The Zizians are tied, as you mentioned, to at least 6 murders spanning the country in 3 states, from California to Pennsylvania and Vermont, including the deaths of a landlord in California in 2022, an elderly couple in Pennsylvania, and, of course, Border Patrol agent Mayland in Vermont last month. Just 20 miles he was killed from the Canadian border. But little is known about the group or its motives, Harris. Independent journalist Andy No has been tracking them for a while.
I would describe some of the crimes that they're accused of as being demonic. You could say an elderly couple that were killed in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, were shot execution style in their homes on New Year's Eve a couple of years ago. FBI dropped the ball on this because the killings go back to 2022.
But that last point, Harris, these 3 in Maryland, including the leader that's being held, the FBI, according to Maryland officials, have gotten very involved in this case, trying to put the pieces together. Harris?
Yeah, I think it's so important.
Wild, man. And shout out to Vallejo, man. LaRussell, be safe out there, man. But it's just wild. I actually have nothing else to say about this. I got nothing else to say about this one. I ain't messing with them. I ain't messing with no radical vegans, bro. I know how angry I am at the fact that I'm still not eating steaks and stuff. So I can only imagine they're not eating dairy either. So I know that they're angry and upset. All right. And Denise wrote, so are they transmissions or are they attacking the transmissions? Are they transgenders or are they attacking? I think they are the transgenders. I don't know. I don't even want to say anything. Like, we're gonna move on. I'm just gonna read y'all comments. This is not my thoughts. These are y'all comments. So y'all Sissians don't come after me. Laughing my ass off. Dak discovering veganism is leftist was a hilarious moment. I'm a leftist. If the feds have been watching it for a while, how did they get away with 6 murders? That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh man. Hold up, man. This is a lefty, man. I'm going to have been dying to have me some oxtails. It is what it is. It is what it is. Transmissions is my new favorite group. Yeah, that's what we could. Yeah, that's what we saying from now on to protect ourselves. Transmissions. All right, let's move on to Governor Hochul. Matter of fact, let's do a shorter video. So we'll do a shorter video first. So I don't know if y'all are seeing a lot of this stuff with the planes crashing, all this craziness, to the point where we were talking yesterday, like, yo, should I even be flying? And they're showing us all these plane crashes, and clearly it's not like it doesn't feel random. It feels like, what's the play here? Or what's going on here? Matter of fact, hold on. I got 2 videos to show you. Hold on. I gotta change this because the first one that I was gonna show was gonna be a different one. Hold on. I want to show y'all these back to back. I just thought about it. Hold on. Maya sent me one yesterday. Oh, wait, hold on. This is gonna be good. I promise you it's worth the wait. All right, hold on. Let me save this. Let me go to my bookmarks. Let me reset this. All right, y'all look at this video first. Then I'm gonna show y'all. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right, I hope it's gonna be good. All right, boom. This is our girl right here, right? Isn't this Caitlin Collins, or I forget her name? This is the one that Trump had a little issue with. All right, watch this video. You guys tell me your thoughts.
FAA employees who was just fired. A warning from one of the several hundred FAA employees who was just fired. I'm, quote, scared to death, and the American public should be scared too, is what we're hearing from Charlie Statlander, who says he was working on an urgent FAA defense program in Hawaii to detect incoming cruise missiles. He thought his job would be spared because it focused on national security. But on Friday, along with hundreds of other FAA probationary employees, he was fired. You say that the American public should be scared by your firing and the hundreds of your FAA colleagues as well. Why is that?
I do think the American public does need to be concerned. I gave that quote about being scared to death because, while I can't talk about the specifics of the project I worked on and and what all I was doing. What I can tell you is that the FAA National Defense Program that I was a part of and was incredibly proud to work for the mission, to accomplish the mission of, has an incredibly important national security role. And I was working on incredibly important national security work.
The White House defended these cuts by saying no air traffic controllers nor any professionals who perform safety critical functions were terminated. Is that accurate?
And this is the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA. So all these planes, that's why I may be connecting some dots that aren't there, but let's see.
From what you know?
So again, I was in the FAA National Defense Program, so I don't really have any knowledge on the air traffic controller.
I'm seeing some stuff right now. I'm reading a lot. Oh man, why'd they put me in this position? Maya, why you send me this video? Why you send me this video? Because I want to say certain. Hold on. So it seems like she was trying to connect the air traffic control issues that are clearly happening, or planes been crashing into each other. It seems like there's a connection here. And this is a prime example. When I saw this video, I thought it was directly about the planes that are crashing. As I'm listening to it, because I told y'all, a lot of times I don't listen to the full video. I want to react to it like y'all. But as I'm listening to it, I'm actually hearing something else. And even when she asked him about whether it's an air traffic control issue, first off, the whole time he's literally being interviewed and saying, you should be scared, but I can't tell you what you should be scared of, the whole time. But then when she asked him a question, trying to connect the dot between air traffic control and what's happening with a lot of these planes crashing, listen to what he says.
Is that accurate from what you know?
So again, I was in the FAA National Defense Program, so I don't really have any knowledge on the air traffic controller side of that. But I can tell you that the second part of that, regarding public safety or critical public safety, from my perspective and the work I was doing, is a flat out false statement.
Okay. Don't know what to take from that. However, I want to show y'all this second video. It's just more convo about what's happening with the plane. So let's take a look at this.
If you're watching liberal news, you're probably wondering, why are all these plane crashes happening? Like, there's never been this many plane crashes. It must be because of Trump. For those of you who think that way, let me introduce you to the NTSB's monthly accident tracker. In January of 2025, there's so much talk about the awful things Donald Trump has done to the FAA. There were 62 accidents. January of last year, there was 80. In 2023, there were 89. 22, there was 82. 21, there were 74. Back in 2020, there were 89. So every single year Joe Biden was in office, there were more crashes in the month of January. But the news didn't tell you to panic about that. They told you to panic about 62. Oh, and in February, where all these crashes are happening, there was 25. February of last year, there were 93, then 81, 99, 90, 96. Guys, if you're losing your shit over 25, wait till we get to these months. Please recognize that if you're only panicking because the media told you to, you're a fucking sheep.
Woo. Okay. That's kind of wild, right? Like, think about how much they're trying to push to us that these accidents are happening now at a very alarming rate. I told y'all, to the point where I was questioning, like, yo, should we be flying? Maya wrote, he says, no, going back to the other video, he says at the end he can't speak to air traffic control. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. But hold on, Ant wrote saying America. All right, so we're talking about the first video with the guy that said that we should be scared. Saying America should be scared because I was fired is white privilege. Y'all try to get me in trouble. Then how can he talk about it at all? Sheba said, I agree. I'm like, wait, so you did an interview to say that you can't say what you want to say, but we should be scared? It's weird. To me, it seemed like he was hinting at a terrorist attack or a matter of national security. Okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Maya, I'm with you, but like, we should be scared. Yeah, I think people are always aware or I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like, yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm with you, man. I'm with all y'all. He looks like he's lying. I agree. He also looked like something else, dude. Like, whatever. What is he reading? Right. It's like he's reading something, looking uncomfortable. Planes crash all the time. That's a fact. His eyes are shifty. LOL. Y'all peeping it more than me. Are all these planes crashing, or are we just being fear-mongered by a machine? It seems like we're just being fear-mongered. Because think about it. If we never played that video, and Maya said it makes me feel a lot better. If we never played that video, then we would really be thinking like, yo, all the planes are crashing. And then what do we put in our minds? Literally, I was on my flight the other day. Spirit. We started hitting some turbulence. I started questioning me buying this damn Spirit flight, trying to save some money. Like I was like, oh man, like, and this is literally the thoughts that are going through your head. And obviously, thoughts have power, right? Words have power. So with us speaking these things out, we're now speaking it up even more. And we just see the power of what words have and the power of what us seeing a lot of these things occurring can have. Across the board, I would say that 99.99% of the people probably are not aware of those stats that the gentleman just read. So everybody in the country is now having a fear that may not necessarily be an actual real thing. You know, it may be a baseless reason to have that fear. Ebony wrote, that's a piece of information that's definitely not out there. Ant wrote, I'll be honest, the fact he's doing interviews means he wasn't doing anything that critical. Hence the fire. Y'all gotta chill. All right, so let's move on to I want to show y'all this interesting video with the this White House video. Let's take it back to politics real quick. I thought that this was a classic. I thought we gotta see this. Like, oh no, we gotta play this. Let's look at Trump's staff, man. Y'all may not like it, but Trump's staff, man, they over here like they confident, man. I'm telling you, they're confident. Ant wrote, nah, y'all would be thinking all the planes is crashing. I'm over here like, what are they trying to distract me from now? Turn this TV off. Kendrick, don't believe anything you hear on the news. Yay. Don't nobody want to hear about no Kendrick, bro. Let me stop, man. Y'all trying now. Everybody want to talk about Kendrick. The lack of knowledge can hurt you. That's a fact. Aishiba. Bez G in the building. God is in control. Have no fear. God is in control. Have no fear, Bez. All right, we with you, baby. We with you. All right, take a look at this video. Let me know your thoughts.
Good point. Sure, Caitlin. I have a question. I'll start with you, Kevin Hassett.
Okay.
Thank you for being here. And then I've got a question for Mr. Waltz. On these potential checks that you might send out from Doge, is there a concern as you're thinking through this that they could be inflationary?
Oh, absolutely not. Because imagine if we don't spend government money and we give it back to people, then if they spend it all, then you're even. But they're probably going to save a lot of it, in which case you're reducing inflation. Okay, so and also, when the government spends a lot, that's what creates inflation. We learned that from Joe Biden. And so if we reduce government spending, then that's reduces inflation. And if you give people money, then they're going to save a bunch of it. And when they save it, then that also reduces demand and reduces inflation.
Okay, so you're not worried about it.
It is true that many of the people in this room for 4 years failed to cover the fact that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent and was not running the country. It is also true that many people in this room who have used this talking point that Elon is not elected fail to understand how government works. So I'm glad for the opportunity for a brief civics lesson. A president is elected by the whole American people. He's the only official in the entire government that is elected by the entire nation, right? Judges are appointed, members of Congress are elected at the district or state level, just one man. And the Constitution, Article 2, has a clause known as the vesting clause, and it says the executive power shall be vested in a president, singular. The whole will of democracy is imbued into the elected president. That president then appoints staff to then impose that democratic will onto the government. The threat to democracy, indeed the existential threat to democracy, is the unelected bureaucracy of lifetime tenured civil servants who believe they answer to no one, who believe they can do whatever they want without consequence, who believe they can set their own agenda no matter what Americans vote for. So Americans vote for radical FBI reform, and FBI agents say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote for radical reform on our energy policies, but EPA bureaucrats say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote to end DEI, racist DEI policies, and lawyers at the Department of Justice say they don't want to change. What President Trump is doing is he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people.
They letting it be known, man. They standing on business, man. I don't know. If I was a Democrat, I would be jealous right now. Like, dang, why can't Jasmine Crockett express herself like that? Why can't we have something to run on? Why can't Biden and Kamala give us something that makes sense that we can push for? I don't know. All right, so let me catch up with a lot of y'all comments. I know y'all. Hold on. Ev said, "Don't be hating on Kendrick." That's hate. Ev said, "Don't be hating on Kendrick." My bad. That part, I believe the opposite. What they tell us, because we know they're full of it. Or too much knowledge on BS can hurt you too. All right. Trump staff be they be roasting. I agree, Aisheba. I was in the Lana, give us the game. I was in the aviation industry for over 15 years. Commercial aircraft don't crash without us knowing. It's not a kamikaze. And I saw you wrote continued below. So military planes crash, but we don't hear about it, because if America knew how much money and land the military destroys without blinking, more Americans would be angry. Interesting. I get it. Antonice wrote, "How is them giving us back money they stole from us?" That's funny. I got $5 that a percentage of the money Elon says will be put into Dogecoin for kick. I could see something like that, I guess, happening. I'm not as familiar with the coins. The fear of flying started with Boeing exposed. It's a tactic. Not saying Boeing isn't bugging, but Boeing was bugging way before it became a problem. Interesting, bro. Interesting. Yeah, Boeing was the first one. That was the one with the doors are flying off, I believe. I think that was that one. All right, so let's move on to, excuse me, my bad. What actually should we move on to? Let's move on. We got this Joe Budden video pulled up. Let's get into this. And then we'll finish off probably with the Governor Hochul and Trump going back and forth, and maybe play a little bit of that Sonny Holston video as well. Remind me to play the Sonny Holston. Matter of fact, let me write that in. Oh, I actually have it in my notes. All right. So with Governor Hochul. All right. We're good. Give me a sec. Y'all be all right. All right. Let's play. Let's listen to this conversation. So let me read. It says Joe Budden podcast breaking down how men forsake their own happiness to make their wives happy and children happy, and they put on a mask to hide the inner turmoils that they're going through and not to show weakness. So let's take a look at it.
Except that we almost say fuck ourselves
to hold up this house.
Yeah,
to make
but
sure she's happy,
people,
to make sure the kids are happy.
Too.
Some people like that. Some people are proud of that. That makes them happy.
Yeah, but no, I don't know if it necessarily makes them happy. We forego our happiness.
Yes,
our happiness is an afterthought.
Secondary.
Dog, you gotta listen to. Cut it out.
Yeah,
that nigga. He be saying a bunch of fly shit. He a dick sometimes, but I'm telling you, he basically says that, yo, as a man, when you start ascending in age, you kind of put your happiness to, it's not like what I'm a bitch for. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody gonna listen, nigga. You got to make it happen regardless. And you kind of live by that. Yo, we got to do the work. We got to do the work. We got to do the work. When we first came, you like, yo, we're going to put our heads down. We're going to do the work. And I think benefits going to be at the end of it. And that's what happens. And that, as a man, that's how you kind of carry through life. But your happiness ain't your priority.
Society makes that normal.
Yes.
Right?
That's why patriarchy is unhealthy for men too.
If your wife is happy and your children is happy, you know what I mean? That's all.
You're succeeding as a man.
Did he just say that's why patriarchy is unhealthy for men too? Wait, what? Did we just throw that? What?
Society makes that normal.
Yes.
Right?
That's why patriarchy is unhealthy for men too.
If your wife is happy.
Oh, God. So everything they just said about men prioritizing purpose over their happiness, or men basing their purpose based on just doing work and not necessarily prioritizing their happiness. Mark Lamont Hill responds and says, that's why patriarchy is unhealthy for men. Like too? Like what? Like, what?
It's that normal.
Yes,
Right?
that's why patriarchy is unhealthy for men too.
If your wife is happy and your children is happy, you know.
So I guess the matriarchy, or about, like, to me, it's just an unfair statement to say that this is the only reason why, or one bad thing or one negative thing that you're attaching to a patriarchy. You're saying that makes patriarchy. I'm not gonna go on a tangent. Let's keep going.
I mean, that's all.
You're succeeding as a man, no matter if your body is killing you or any of that.
And a lot of times
you can't even complain about it.
A lot of times because you'll be looked at a certain way.
Why do people say, like, and you can't complain about it? Mark Lamont Hill is triggering me right now.
Yeah, right. A lot of times you can go through internal turmoil, but you have to put on a happy face when you walk into the house, right? That applies to men. When you know when they say leave that shit outside.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you're bringing it inside. You just have to put a mask on.
Yep.
So it won't affect them.
It said something. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
No, it said something last episode. I was listening. He said if I only had.
When you leave, let me ask y'all this. Like, if men, and to each their own, I'm to the point where you want a matriarchy, do your matriarchy. You want a patriarchy, you want to mix, you want to blend, you want a partner. However people see fit that works best for them, do that. But I just don't understand why we're always trying to tear down this patriarchy. I don't understand why we're trying to tear down and act as if, when you look at, let's look at Black culture specifically. Black culture has been running off of a matriarchy for a very long time. And do you think that since Mark Lamont Hill wants to connect certain dots around patriarchies and say, oh, well, that's the reason why patriarchy is bad and unhealthy for men too. Well, what about this matriarchy that the Black culture has been living in for a very long time now? I would say since Lyndon B. Johnson is when it started with the social programs. Black people are doing the worst in America. So is that unhealthy too? But you never hear people downplay, well, this matriarchy. Black people are the culture that live in the least amount of patriarchal structure out of all cultures. Think back at what Black Lives Matter. A lot of people don't know this. Black Lives Matter, in their original mission statement, you thought that they were just trying to stand up for Black people dying, mostly who happen to be Black men. But in their mission statement, it was to break down the patriarchal structure, the traditional patriarchal structure. And they had to change their mission statement or take the mission statement off of their page because they were losing a lot of funding, when I believe it was the New York Times that put out an article highlighting it. Black people do not have a patriarchy. But you have a Black man tearing down the patriarchal structure. And it's so funny when you hear Black men like this say this stuff, because that's literally the thing that Black communities and Black families are lacking the most: a strong Black father to serve as a leader in the household. But you get a super intelligent brother like Mark Lamont Hill to say these certain things and to tear down the patriarchal structure, when it's like, brother, do you realize that when you let's compare Black families who have a patriarchal structure to Black families that have a matriarchal structure? I just don't get it. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me look at the comments, because maybe I'm wrong on this one. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. Hold on. Look at Ant. Hold on. Look at Ant. Ant got caught. Hold on. Ant got caught. And then he tried to backtrack on his comments. He wished he had a delete button. And this is what I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. And shout out to Mama Lay in the building. Very interesting what Alana just said. I feel it's another way to infiltrate fear. I agree with you on that. Ebony wrote, men's happiness equals side chick and solo trips with the boys to Colombia and DR. Ebony, that's an actual great point that you bring up. A great point that you bring up. And I want to make sure that that's a good segue to the next video that I'm going to show. Remember that point that you just brought up, because I think that man should be getting that side chick and solo trip feel when he comes in the household. When he comes in the house. Isn't that what, like, if a man's going out there, isn't that what a woman can provide to a man, that feminine energy to make him feel good, to make him feel whole, to make him, to take away a lot of his stress that he faced throughout the day and only in the way that only a woman can. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Remember that point, Eb. Remember that point. My happiness is not an afterthought, but part of my happiness is a byproduct of my kids' experience in life, not sacrifice. So Ant said, I told you Mark be saying things, man. No. All right. So I thought Ant was supporting it a little bit. All right. Maybe he said for me too. Ant wrote, I haven't missed an episode of Joe's Pod in 5 years. Mark is not for you, bro. So who is Mark for? Ant, that would be my question to you. Who is Mark for? Who is Mark for? Is he for? I grew up with a father as the leader of my household. Is that why Mark's not for me? Who is Mark for? Imagine Mark speaking to the majority of black communities and black households in America where they do not have a patriarchal structure. What do you think those families are gonna take away from the things that he's saying? And he's an intelligent brother, right? Anthony said, yeah, do what's best for you. That's what I'm on right now. You spot on, bro. Appreciate you. No, I thought you were saying something else. Ebony, that is not my happiness. All right. Mark Lamont's Hill's wife is more masculine than him. Beautiful woman, but she seems stronger in a way. I didn't even know who his wife was, but I'm not surprised. Is anybody surprised? These are the type of men, in my opinion, that are destroying our communities. And they're not doing it on purpose or with ill intent. I don't think so. But just think about what you would say. If any black man is taking, they weren't even talking about the patriarchal structure. How did we even start talking about it when we're just talking about men and them, not prioritizing their happiness and just making sure that they have to get stuff done? He decides to input, that's why the patriarchy is not healthy for men. And then makes another comment when literally that is the number one thing that black people are lacking in the community. Why do you think that young man turned to the gang? Why do you think he turned to a gang? Because he does not have the support of his father. He doesn't have that in the household, that love from a man that is provided in a way that only a father can provide it. So therefore, he starts looking outside the household. Why do you think that young girl is now turning to do certain things that she probably shouldn't do because she lacks a father in the household? She's not protected as much. I think studies have came out showing that a child is more likely to be sexually assaulted if there's not a father in the house. Like all these different things. How are we what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? And Eb on point with Mark takes. Not surprised. Mark's weak. I get it. Yeah. Andy and many seeing happiness outside of the home he built should inspect the foundation and what his home entails. I used to like him when he spoke on Black history, but topics that affect our current circumstances are not as helpful to our progress as a whole. Mark Lamont Hill lost me when he couldn't say what a woman was, or he couldn't define whether or not I think he said a man could get pregnant, or he couldn't answer that or something crazy like that. I don't know. But let's keep going with the conversation. And matter of fact, Eb, going back to your point, what we'll do is we'll actually input. Let's finish this off, and then we'll get to the video that you're talking about. Let's finish this off.
$20 in my account. I would never.
They would never know.
My lady would never know.
No.
And I've been. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
No, it said something last episode I was listening. He said if I only had $20 in my account, I would never.
They would never know.
My lady would never know.
Facts.
And I've been there before, where I'm sitting here trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm borrowing money. My wife may have the money.
Words.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
You know what I mean? But I'm going to borrow it to make this thing happen because my idea of manhood is partly about being able to take care of everybody and to be in control.
And everything.
Yeah, and I'm literally not sleeping at night trying to figure out how to put these things together.
Bro.
And
that's a fact.
And because I don't
stress will fuck you up.
Exactly.
So you can die from stress.
And we do every day.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
borrow,
do.
you spend your last money to make sure your kids have and all that shit.
Stress will fuck you up. You can die from stress. You know what stress also does? It makes you stronger. You know, every time you go in the gym and you lift a weight, you stress that muscle to break it down. So therefore, when it repairs, it comes back stronger. But we only going to talk about the stress that stress can kill you. Yeah, but talk about both sides of it. Talk about both sides of it. Talk about the cycle that we always talk about where hard times create strong men. Hard times are stressful. That's what creates strong men. But then because we're so worried about stress and we don't want anybody to have stress, or we don't want to be depressed and anxiety, going back to the video that we played of the therapist yesterday, talking about how we're overdoing this whole mental health thing, how every feeling is a diagnosis. This is what stress can kill you. Yeah, well, stress can also save you. Stress can also save you. Stress can make you healthy. Work out. Go do some sprints, and you tell me if that's not putting stress and strain on your body, but if it's ultimately making you stronger.
To make sure your wife have, and shit is different. And you just got to eat that.
Yeah. A lot of male voices. Let's give Mel a chance to process and reply to this or speak to this.
It just sounds like
And we're not gender warring.
No, it just sounds like from what you guys are, saying collectively, that you fall victim to like a kind of like the idea of what a man is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like provision and leave your, non-emotional, leave your stuff at the door, like all of that stuff. Your humanity is inconsequential. And that doesn't, I just don't see it that way. Maybe it's because I'm not married. Maybe it's because of that.
That's what happy wife, happy life is saying.
But that's why I think that me and Ice had the same question at the same time, that I don't think that saying forgoes your happiness.
I never took it as that.
I didn't
personally.
either.
I never took it as that.
And also,
everything that y'all are saying.
and also to Ice's point, like a couple of seconds ago, some people actually like that. Sometimes the source of their happiness is to see their wife and their family thriving. And so I don't think that it's a blanket statement that can be applied to all men.
I think, Ant, that's what you were saying, as far as you see your happiness in making your kids happy. That you don't, I don't want to misquote you, but I think that you said something similar to that. Ant wrote, I don't agree with his take on hiding finances from your wife. All right. I don't agree with his take on hiding finances from your wife. What do y'all think about that? I'm actually curious to know how women would feel about that. Like, if you're a woman, and do you want to know that your man's going through a stressful situation? And I'm with you on it as far as Ant. Like, yeah, I'm definitely with you on, like, it shouldn't be hid. It almost, like, if me just thinking off the top of my head how I would approach it would be more so like, yo, you may address it one time and say like, oh, this is the situation. Boom. We got a little bit more stress on us here and there. It's cool. But then take action to start moving on it, and to not necessarily bring it up all the time, but I don't know. What would a woman, from a woman's perspective, do you want your man to kind of update you every day and say, hey, or do you want your man to just give you the heads up, like, hey, we're going through some stuff, all good, we're going to figure it out, got some things in motion, don't trip. And just so you're taking heed to it. So it's like, maybe, okay, we may not be going out to eat as much, we may not be buying as much, but I trust that my man is going to get it figured out, and he doesn't need to update me every day of us having a financial struggle. I don't know. Ladies, what would y'all want? Bez said, just ask your partner for that. I think Bez is referring to Mark Lamont Hill when he said that his lady could have money, but if he doesn't have the money, he's trying to figure out a way to make the money without asking her for it. That's what I would be more aligned with. Ant wrote, my partner is supposed to be my teammate. Now, that doesn't mean I need her to fix everything or anything, but I'm not hiding things from my wife. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. And Bez wrote, pride is a low-level emotion. Perhaps, yeah. Pride may be a low-level emotion. Pride definitely may be a low level emotion. I think pride works in different ways for different people. Pride can make you do stupid stuff. Pride can make you accomplish great things. Pride can, it can impact people in different ways. Mark's stupid and don't have a real woman. It's the type of women Mark picks. Other countries don't question this. Isn't that mental stress versus physical stress? That is exactly mental stress versus physical stress. And to me, they go hand in hand. I don't understand. I was actually having this conversation yesterday where I don't understand why we look at mental stress compared to physical stress. Somebody that just has a life where everything is just happy and just everything's given to them mentally, how are they going to develop the skills mentally to deal with adversity? How are they going to develop the skills to communicate in situations that are extremely tough for them? How are they going to develop this mental toughness? Just like you need in physical toughness. Let's say just like you're lifting weights, in order to lift more weights and to become stronger, to prepare yourself for to take on more stress, which is more weight, you have to actually stress your body out and then obviously recover. And then in that recovery process, you're becoming stronger. I look at mentally the same way. Look at when you talk about, I just relate everything to sports. When you talk about mentally tough athletes, a lot of these mentally tough athletes, it's because they've gone through certain situations to where now they've developed a certain level of mental toughness. When you look at a guy like Tom Brady, guys that you look at as mentally tough, and I look at it the same way as just people going through their lives. There's a lot of people that grow up in privilege and then they face hard times and mentally they're not capable of dealing with it because they've never dealt with stress. So therefore they can't properly adjust. They don't have the tools and skills that are necessary to deal with that particular situation because they've never had any level of mental stress on themselves. So just like in physical stress, if you can't, I'm not saying that you should go to the gym and put 1,000 pounds on the squat rack and try to lift it and destroy your body by doing so because your body's not capable of doing that. Hey, let's work at 225. Then let's build up to 250. Let's build up to 300. Slow progress. I would look at it the same way from a mental health standpoint. So not to say that we got to throw everybody in just a super toxic, disruptive situation, mentally challenging situation, but certain things, that's what a lot of sports is for. Like literally, that's one of the greatest accomplishment or one of the greatest takeaways from sports. It's not even the physical. The greatest things that I took away from sports were developing mental toughness, these type of things, even being able to take constructive criticism, like from that standpoint. You learn a lot of these things through sports and they're mental, not necessarily physical. Yes, ego and pride and exuberance is a low vibration. And yes, Dak, it's not me versus my family. Did I say something where I said that it's Ant versus family? I may be missing something, Ant. I didn't know that I said it was you versus your family. I may be missing something. What if Mark and there had to still hunt for food? That's funny right there. So Ant wrote, I don't need to give a play-by-play, but when we need to tighten the belt buckle a little, it's a combo, and that goes both ways. Yeah, Ant, you kind of lost me with the last comment. I don't know if I said something. Maybe I said something that I didn't mean to say or misinterpreted. I don't know what you mean as far as Dak, it's not me versus my family. Explain it. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I said something wrong. Just give me a heads up. It's cool. Ant wrote, stress is stress. Once it gets out of control, it will kill you. Stress, like pride and ego, need to be observed and taken with the right moderation that leads to the best version of you. So pretty much y'all saying a whole bunch to say that stress can be good, stress can be bad. Stress is necessary. Stress is necessary. There's a lot of stress is necessary, a certain amount of stress. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Show me the healthiest individuals. Matter of fact, show me the individuals. Give me some individuals that you look up to. Think of some individuals that you look up to and question what type of stress that they've gone through. When I think about the people that I look up to the most, a lot of them were developed during times of stress. Ant wrote, wisdom, strength, and perseverance is only gained through the right amount of stress. Correct. I agree with that. Pushing yourself to the max is lazy and short-lived. Learn yourself and build. David Goggins would disagree, but I'm with you on it. A lesson I learned later in life. Hopefully you choose a helpmate and not just someone that looks good. Leslie wrote, because you said earlier, thoughts are powerful. It depends on one's focus because the mind does govern the body. Yeah, thoughts are powerful. Maybe I'm misspeaking. I don't know. I'm cool with stress. I invite stress. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people that believe in the whole ice tub therapy. Like literally that's about putting your body in a super stressful situation. And there's all these positive impacts that are supposed to come from it. When you take a cold shower, all these different things, you're shocking your body. You're putting your body in a stressful situation. So maybe we just disagree on that. I don't know. Maybe we all agree on it. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to interpret the text. If you can't ask your wife for something in rare occurrence, what's the point in having a wife and partner? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with asking the wife for and partner for money in a rare occurrence, but to each their own. Some people are cool with it. Some people are not, right? Everybody's supposed to be able to live how they want to live. Alana, me versus my family. So Alana agrees with Bez. Me versus my family was a comment on the hiding things from my family. Well, why did you say Dak? It's not me versus my family. I didn't say anything about hiding things from your family. I was just asking the ladies. And I said that I actually wouldn't hide it from my family. I just wouldn't be talking about it all the time. That's just me personally. Why y'all shit? I go about it my way. Y'all go about it y'all way. To each their own. Let's see. Let's get into this. All right. So I wanted to show y'all this. Oh, to Eb's comment before. She said that's why that's why dudes out here running around or got side chicks and running around the DR in Colombia. Take a look at this post. I wasn't even going to play it, but sometimes I just keep certain stuff on deck. Y'all take a look at this and give me your thoughts. Hold on one second. And Ant wrote, Goggins' tolerance is higher than most. He knows his limits and when to push them. Remember, I said, learn yourself first. I love a cold sub 30-degree walk, but people think I'm crazy. All right. I'm specifically because it pushes my cardiovascular. I'm with it, bro. All right. Let's take a look at this. Oh, we didn't even get through the rest of the convo. My bad. We'll finish this convo, then we'll get to the other videos.
You know,
it's a bad thing when you think that.
And so hold on. The other thing,
you get what I'm saying?
And so hold on. The other thing is that this is the first time in history where men and women are basically kind of on equal footing in terms of making the same money and whatever else. So what I hear from a lot of women is it's no longer provision that they're looking for. What they're looking for is partnership. What they're looking for is a little bit more self-development, and that is what they're not finding.
But that's part of the same problem.
Patriarchy, exactly.
Because we're not trained to do that. We're trained to pay these bills and make sure that the lights are on and
we get judged on that.
No, but wait, hold on one second. To further that point, I think that all the motivational speakers that speak to y'all have done y'all a disservice by saying the only way to develop yourself is get rich, get fit. That's it. What about all the other ways that you can develop yourselves? You guys have been there's been a grave disservice done to you because of that way of thinking. That there's no value in that other level of self-development, that it's just get rich for provision and for yourself and get fit and that's it.
What if the people are...
I don't disagree with what she said.
What if the people that's
I think that's true.
Hold up, Mama Lay. Stressing the body from lack of rest can cause illness, and too much rest can cause illness. We are living in a country where we have an absurd amount of obesity that is leading to a lot of death, diseases, and just overall unhealthy lifestyles. So I'm with you as far as stressing the body from lack of rest can cause illness, but I think that we are in a position where along that spectrum, where it's like where we're stressing our body. Our culture is not stressing our body. When you look at the gym classes, that compare the old school gym classes in the 70s and 80s, what people were doing compared to what gym is now, then it's very understanding as to why we have this obesity problem. We do not stress our bodies. Like we are on the opposite end of the spectrum currently. It just is what it is. I mean, look at the majority of people. Look at the majority of people. We have an obesity epidemic in this country. So I could understand if, we're stressing our bodies to the point where it's like, hey, if people are just starving themselves, if people are just working out too much, then of course we adjust it, right? It's all about the balance. So we would need to, hey, y'all are too far over there. Let's bring it back to center. But right now, I mean, do y'all see more people stressing their bodies? Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all see more people that are unhealthy from stressing their bodies from working out too much? Or do you see more people that are unhealthy from not working out too much and stressing their bodies with other stuff, drinking, doing all types of drugs, doing whatever, eating all types of terrible food? Which one do y'all see us more aligned with? So I'm with you. Stressing the body from lack of rest can cause illness, of course. But I think that's a privileged position that I think people who work out on a consistent basis deserve to look at life from. You get what I'm saying? If you work out on a consistent basis, then you can talk about, hey, we need a little bit more rest. I got to incorporate some more rest. But the majority of us, we're not even to that point where we can even talk about rest. Like the majority of us, we're not even walking consistently. So I'm with you, but I think where we are currently in society, I think that we need more physical stress on our bodies. Just my opinion. Hold on. And I think Ant wrote, yes, everything in life is balance. I agree. But the balance right now, but what people don't realize, this is what people don't realize, or what I think a lot of people don't realize. Maybe people are, when we say the word balance, it's like we look at it as if, okay, we've been not working out for so long. So now it's like, okay, now we're just going to have more balance. Well, to balance not working out for so long, you maybe need to work out a whole lot to balance that out, because you haven't been working out. You haven't been eating healthy. So to balance your body out now, maybe you have to be a bit more extreme about working out, a bit more extreme about eating. That's kind of how I look at it. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. All good. Too lazy, too many excuses. That's definitely how I see stuff. We have an obesity problem, and the only way humans know how to create enough motivation in the masses to push the pendulum far in the other direction and wait for it to rebalance. Okay. Yep. There is no balance, just a bunch of in-between energy. That's kind of how I see stuff as well. All right, let's keep moving.
Receiving the perks, don't think about your happiness at all.
Oh, well, then that's a fucked up mate.
Let me ask you a question.
That's just that's
How many years do you think?
Hold on.
My bad.
Because that's not intentional, right? Because everybody has issues, man. But what if they also think that you're the man, suck it up, figure it out, because the road that you took, I guess, because the road that is, I guess, assigned to you, right? So she's not thinking that, because I'm going to be careful. She's not thinking that, I wonder if she's going to check on you, but she's not going to go out her way. Some people are not going to go out their way to find out what are you going through at work, or to find out the finances, because men, we shut down.
Right.
We shut down when you try to ask certain questions. We're not communicative a lot of the time. We don't want to get into that. Forget about that. We don't want to, because a lot of times
and we taught not to.
And we're
Ain't
taught
nothing
not
worse
to.
than a complaining man. Ain't nothing worse than a crying man.
I think that get rich.
Yeah. And even going back to some of y'all points, like even going back to the money aspect, like I'm thinking, and I know a few people that are successful and they, borrowed some money from their significant other, their wife, their partner, and where their wife was making more, and they borrowed some money and used it to do some great things. So I think that I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Like I really just as I'm thinking about it, I have no issue. If you want to borrow money, if you want to share expense, like I have no problem with any of it, to be totally honest. To each their own. Whatever people are doing to successfully coexist and to be interdependent with one another, if it's working, then you are a testament that then that's all the proof that you need that your way of life works is you doing it with somebody else. So if it's working for you guys, then to each their own. I definitely can't speak on it because you already have a working situation. So if whatever works for you, let it work for you. That's the only thing that matters. So I'll just reemphasize that. Or I don't know if that's changing my stance on it just after thinking about what y'all are saying, but that's just me thinking about it more in real time. But I think I said whatever works for you, but maybe I'm adjusting how I personally would think about it in my situation. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to always process it in real time with y'all.
Get fit shit is some modern shit,
and that's some new age shit.
Yeah, that's new.
Most of the motivational speakers I follow, they don't live by that motto. Like I think that the motivational speakers I follow, they find it insulting that we only relegate it to protect and provide. What I'm hearing,
and you know what ends up happening, I believe. I think everybody understands that balance, like to the point earlier, I think everybody understands that balance is important. But I think we just have different views on how to achieve that balance. And based on everybody being in different parts of the spectrum or different parts of the seesaw, then we all have to adjust. Like, think about the seesaw. What it takes to balance that seesaw is, obviously, if there's too much weight over, some people are over here like this, so they're obviously going to take more weight to balance it. And some people may be just off just a little bit to where they may just need a little bit more weight. So everybody's balance is going to look different. And everybody, just based on being in different situations and positions, I guess we'll look at it differently. But yeah, I guess balance is definitely the goal that we should strive for. But I wanted to play this other video.
Set that
We all hold on. I wanted to play this other video that was to Eb's comment about when a man comes home or why men have side chicks and are running to DR in Colombia. You guys give me your thoughts on that. I should already have it. Yeah, boom. Take a look at this.
About it. If a man going to work about it. If a man going to work every day and then he come home to his girlfriend, he had worked twice. That's why he messes with little freaks. Because freaks are fun. The thing with the little freaks is, y'all don't want to hear this, but I don't care. Y'all know I don't care about what y'all feel like or nothing like that. The thing with freaks is they're fun. They're judgment free. They're exciting. That's what we need. We don't want to come in the house and feel uptight. If your man is pulling up in the driveway and he's sitting in that driveway for minutes or before he walk in, he hated her. And it's because you're not giving him the entertainment that he needs. You're boring. And your hair is stupid.
Yo, what?
And your attitude is bad.
Pretty much my takeaway from that is that, to Eb's point, both people should be, I think, right? Like, isn't this the goal, to provide? Like, in a partnership, you do what your goal is to. It's almost like that's what a mastermind is. It's like, okay, what does that person need at the time? And you want to bring that to the table while the other person is simultaneously thinking the same thing. What does that person need? So with both people helping each other, it almost creates that, or it does create the ultimate mastermind of, well, we could do this amount as individuals. We could do this amount as individuals, but together we could do all of this. And it's because of this constant looking out for each other and thinking about, well, what does this person need? What does that woman need in order for her to be her best and to fulfill her role to her best ability? What does this man need? Okay, he's been stressed out at work. Instead of him having to go to find this little side chick, this freak, or go to DR, maybe that should be provided to him right at the home. I don't know. To each their own, right? To each their own. I just thought that was an interesting one And we're actually we got another one for y'all. If I can find it. So it's kind of on the same topic where the lady, I think it's Cheryl Underwood. Yeah, Cheryl Underwood was on Shannon Sharp's pod, Club Shay Shay. And they had an interesting conversation that's similar to what we're discussing right now. So let me read the comments and then I'll play this video for y'all right after. All right, hold on. Mama Lay wrote, I agree with what you're saying. I have learned I haven't had a cold in decades, yet my workaholic friends or mothers with babies who aren't getting the needed rest are getting colds. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, rest is definitely important. That's something that I need to incorporate more, be more intentional about my rest. Facts. Yep. Lazy, too many sit down jobs. Like Mark's. Yo, too many sit down jobs like Mark Lamont Hill, she's saying. The right woman will take pride in being able to clutch, just not be solely responsible all the time. I like that. So you take pride in being that peace that the man needs, and happiness that the man needs, but you're saying that you just can't always be solely responsible for that man's happiness. I think that's a great way to look at it. And I think that works both ways, especially because you hear people say like, oh, I shouldn't be responsible for your happiness. Maybe not all the time and the sole function of my happiness. That's probably not healthy either, but to a certain degree to where you can contribute to it, especially during these trying times that we're talking about right now. Or maybe it doesn't have to be trying times. Maybe it could just be, the stress that comes from daily work, being able to provide whatever role that may be to help ease the situation. I'm with that. Unless her income is just like that and she is able to retire him. Yeah, somebody come and retire me, man. Like Tabitha Brown was able to do. I'm not even familiar with that. This is a conversation for another day because even obesity can go deeper than just laziness. One's outer world is a direct reflection of what's going on inside. All right. I'm with that conversation for a later time. Lady in the streets, but freak in the bed. Very easy principle. Dude projecting though. All right. Aunt said he projecting though. Why? Why her hair have to catch a stray? He a male hoe. Yeah. Then he need to get the type of woman for his home if he wants a freak. Right, Ebony Balance. I was referencing funds and providing for the house. All right, I got you. All right, so listen to this video when it comes to providing, because this is what this video is about with Shannon Sharp.
Being the breadwinner in a relationship.
I'm not.
Are you okay being the breadwinner in a relationship?
I'm not the breadwinner in the relationship.
But would you be okay if you were?
I'm not. He is the head of the household. He is the breadwinner. This is the way I was raised. A lot of women not gonna agree with me.
No, they ain't gonna agree with that.
Even if I make more money, it doesn't make me the breadwinner.
The breadwinner, that person has the larger voice in the relationship.
He's a man. He's going to have.
You got the money. You making the money.
I believe I am advice and concurrence. He is the head of the household. I may be strong-willed. I may make money, but I'm not the head of the household. My mama who raised me and my daddy, I've watched them talk on Saturday morning and they settle the differences and come out unified. I want to make his life better and easier, but I'm not the head of the household. Even if I have access to more money. What happens if I don't have access to more money and we gotta live off his money? Then we're gonna be eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and fried bologna, because I love fried bologna sandwiches. He is still the man and the head of the household.
Women don't think like that.
Well, I think like that, and why the hell I'm not married?
Start with congestion. That's a good question. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting combo around it. Exactly what we're talking about. It's teamwork. That literally the whole purpose behind the union, to become one and get the strength of many. I'm with that. Teamwork. So in my head, I'm telling myself, put the pride to the side, put the ego to the side, figure out how to work better as a team. So that's the things that I'm learning from you guys and what you're telling me. So I appreciate it. Aishiba wrote facts. I think like that too. That's dope. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting conversation. I didn't see the full interview between those two, but I thought that was an interesting conversation. All right, so now what we're going to do is finish up with this Kathy Hochul situation. I think think we have another video. Hold on. So we're going to play. We got, I think, 3 videos pretty quickly that we're going to talk about. So if you guys aren't familiar with the congestion pricing in New York City, it's been an issue where you got to pay an extra tax, or I think it's a tax to go below. I forget, what is it, like 60th Street? So a lot of people are upset, especially a lot of people from New Jersey. You're commuting in, you already got to pay the bridge. What is it, $18 now if you don't have Easy Pass, and then you got to pay whatever else tolls depending on where you're going. But if you're going south, now you have to, and into Manhattan, then you have to pay this tax. And a lot of New Yorkers are complaining too, who drive into work from other areas that are north of 60th Street. I believe it's 60th Street. I may be wrong, but just take a look at this. Hold on.
To Kathy Hochul.
He's in the news every day.
Yeah, we are ending the congesting. Now, yesterday, Sean Duffy, who's head of transportation, he sent a letter to Kathy Hochul.
He's in the news every day.
Yeah, we are ending the congesting pricing because it's so expensive to drive through Manhattan now. It can be $9 and more, depending on if you have one of those little cards that gets you through the tunnel without, what is that called? The Easy Pass.
Yeah.
So it starts at $9. That's a lot of money if you're a cab driver. That's a lot of money if you're a doorman and you have to drive through Midtown and go to the Upper East Side to work for your building. And I've talked to a lot of doormen on the Upper East Side, and they're complaining about this because they're saying it's costing us so much more money to go to work.
So everybody's complaining about it.
No one likes it.
And no one at all.
Except
and so
for Kathy.
I was talking to Pearl. Pearl has never had a political conversation with me in the makeup room.
Do you even know her last name?
Fontaine.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't have given it out.
Because it's almost like Madonna.
Yeah.
All you hear is Pearl.
It's just sweet Pearl. Okay.
Bro, why would you even ask that? Like,
Cowboy boots for Texas Tuesday.
Yeah, because she has to be a part of it. Anyway, Pearl never talks about politics.
Yeah.
And the moment this came up on the screen for Fox and Friends, she goes, "What is wrong with her? What is like, no one in the city likes this." And I just feel like this is another one of those common sense issues, as you've been talking about, Ainsley, that you're giving Donald Trump and his administration another win.
You're giving Donald Trump and his administration another win. That's how I look at it as well. That's how I look at it. It's like, y'all are just doing certain stuff. Like, why are you, like, y'all are making it so easy for Trump. You're making it so easy for Trump. Even a lot of the Democrats are supporting getting rid of this congestion pricing. You're making it so easy for Donald Trump. And then, but she's going to say, hold on, let me see if we can play Governor Hochul's response real quick. Let's move to Governor Hochul's response.
Dial, just terrible.
Yeah. Watch this.
President Donald Trump tweeted, "Long live the king." I'm here to say New York hasn't labored under a king in over 250 years. And we are not. We sure as hell are.
All right, so I just want to show y'all the tweet real quick. So Trump put up, "Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king." So Trump put that up, and that's why she's losing it on Trump. Hold on.
And we won then. And we're not going to start now. In 50 years. And we are not under a king in over 250 years. And we are not. We sure as hell are not going to start now. We stood up to a king, and we won then. And we will.
Yo, this wouldn't get me excited. Like, this speech wouldn't get me excited to go to recess. And when I was a little kid, and anything got me excited to go to recess. Like, it's like, you hear the people in the back cheering. It's like, what? Like, ma'am, Trump is messing with y'all. Like, why? I don't even know why they're giving any of this credence like this. Trump wants to be a king, but apparently maybe I'm just a little bit in the shadows on this one, because Sunny Holston, she has a whole theory around Trump and his agenda to become a king of America. But let's stick with Kathy Hochul for now.
In case you don't know, New Yorkers, we're in a fight. We do not back down. Not now, not ever.
Ma'am, I don't think the majority of New Yorkers are on the same side of the fight as you, or the majority of New Jersey people, I think that when you are charging certain people, and I think Sunny Halston's going to bring this up, where she was like, I think she said on The View, discussing the topic, saying that, oh, well, it was a little bit easier for me to drive into work because of the congestion pricing. That just shows how disconnected you are. Because you're wealthy, you don't care about the toll. You don't care about the toll. So therefore, everybody else that's paying for the toll, they care about it. And then all the people up in Harlem, where people are now parking their cars and then just taking the subway down, now the people in Harlem are complaining about all the traffic up there. So it's like they choose these sides of the fights that are almost impossible to win. Like, man, the majority, just a heads up, when you are on the side of charging people more money compared to Trump taking away a toll, more people, just as simple as we are. Y'all heard earlier Jasmine Crockett talking about the stimmies. Y'all heard Trump didn't even create the stimulus checks, but a lot of people were running around giving him credit for it, saying like, this is why I'm voting for Trump. So it should have showed you then that people are not really paying attention. Even if you have your points on it that you didn't really express as to why the congestion the congestion toll should be there, it's probably a lose-lose situation when you're trying to convince people to pay more. And especially a lot of those people are the not as wealthy as the people that actually live in that area, or the people that don't and can afford, or the people that live there, they can afford to live there. So therefore they may be happy that you're charging people to drive down there, wealthy people. And then the people like Sunny Halston, who are still commuting in, who are just happy saying like, oh, well, the commute was a little lighter. Those are the wealthy people. So you're supposed to be representing the working class as a Democrat, right? So it's just a lot of mixed messaging. But let's look at what Sunny Halston had to say on this. Let's look at what Sunny had to say, because her opinion is always needed.
I have something to say about this Long Live the King. It's very interesting. Political commentator and journalist Ezra Klein, I talked about him last week. He wrote in the New York Times, he's excellent, don't believe Trump. Yeah. And what he said is that Trump has never really wanted to be president. He actually has always wanted to be king. And he also says that his plan this time is to first play king on television. And if we believe he is already king, we will be likelier to let him govern as a king. So don't believe him. Because right now what we're seeing is he's waving his scepter, his king scepter. Yeah. Congestion pricing is gone. Right. He's waving his scepter.
Although I'm pro-congestion prissing being gone, and Whoopi would agree with me.
Well, I don't know. I feel like my drive-in has been a little bit easier and smoother. But
this lady is delusional, bro. Delusional.
You know, he's waving the scepter around, and people seem to think that things are happening by executive order. And I think that is his plan. He wants to run for a third term.
All right. Yeah, y'all see that. I just wanted to play this little clip from Governor Murphy, who's a Democrat, and his stance on congestion pricing.
Congestion pricing. Yeah. Huge news today. I want to get your reaction to the breaking news that the Trump administration has killed congestion pricing.
Yeah, they got there for different reasons than we got there, but they got to the same place. Our basis was there was not a full environmental study done around this, that the pollution really wasn't going away. It was moving from Manhattan to New Jersey. And that secondly, in this case, both cases, the Biden administration did not, there was no money put aside for us to deal with that mitigation on the Jersey side. And on top of that, it was a deal that was raw for our commuters. So that's how we got there. We've been in the same place for years. The Trump administration, I think, got there through a different lane.
You don't care how they got there as long as they got there.
I was just about to say I'm thankful that's where they landed. And Secretary Duffy, who, by the way, is a New Jersey resident, I thank them both. And again, I've said this on the show so many times. We've got the strongest environmental record of any state in America over the past 7 years. This isn't because we're not sympathetic to reducing pollution or pushing back on climate change and defending the environment. This was just a raw deal for New Jersey, both the pollution, the lack of money to deal with the pollution, and as importantly, if not more so, the price at the pump, if you will, for commuters going across the Hudson River.
The reaction and the backlash has been fast and furious this afternoon, especially
I've gotten some of it as well.
Social media. Yeah, Congressman Josh Gottheimer, Senator, and of course gubernatorial candidate John Bramnick, Jim Tedesco, Bergen County executive, Anthony Bucco, state senator, all of them praising this decision here in New Jersey. Your administration, you mentioned this, you fought this from the get-go.
We did.
From the very start. Were you confident that the president would ultimately take this action? Did you expect it to come quite as quickly as it did?
I'm not sure I had a predisposed sense of timing. He had said publicly he was opposed to it. So he's been following through, whether you like it or not, in the first month on things that he said publicly. I have had the chance to liaise with Secretary Duffy. Again, they got there for different reasons, but they got there.
Well, by the way, Secretary Duffy, in his letter to Governor Hochul, mentioned your letter to the Trump administration, to the president, numerous times in that letter.
I'm aware.
Look at Trump uniting the parties. Yo, this is fun. Oh, man. Let's leave that there. One more video for y'all, and then we're out of here. We gotta get out of here, man. We gotta get out of here. Let me get rid of these windows real quick. Oh man, they're making it easy for him. Ant said, if Trump drops episodes of King of the West on YouTube, I'm watching. Long live the king. People are sick. It's almost like you ever had, like, you get teased in school and they say, like, yo, just if you stop showing the kid that you're getting upset, then they're just going to stop teasing you. That's what I feel like somebody should tell a lot of the Democrats and the liberals. Like, yo, just stop feeding into, I mean, what was the lady? I forget her name, who was reading Elon's name, or Elon tricked her into saying Harry Balls. Or it's like, yo, y'all keep getting trolled and then y'all keep feeding into it and leaning into it, not realizing. All right, so let's look at this last video. This was a very sad video, actually. I was very saddened by this one, but and I kind of hate to end on such a sad video, but we don't have time. So let's just give this some grace and see exactly what our thoughts are.
They're living, even so, like, President Trump is like he's having Elon go through all of this stuff to, like, see where America's taxpayer dollars are going to, and, like, they're finding so much corruption, and I just wish that they would stop, because it's really, like, none of their business, and I enjoy paying my taxes to other countries, and I love that it goes into, like, other people's pockets instead of mine, and I just really love that, and I hate that he's deporting all of these people, because I also enjoy all of my tax dollars going to pay for all of their living, even though they came here illegally. And I just, everything is, like, not going according to plan. Like, he's, like, kept his word on everything he said. Like, everything he said, he kept his word on. Like, presidents aren't supposed to do that. This is just the stupidest thing ever. I just wish I'd stay at what? I hate him too.
Yeah, man, it's tough times. But, we're going to figure this thing out together. You heard Governor Murphy. You heard the young lady. He's doing what he said he was going to do. So I guess you kind of got to respect that. He won the vote of the people, and the people voted for him because he said he was going to do certain things, and him doing those things, you got to appreciate it, I would think. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to pray for her and the rest of the people that are aligned with that way of thinking. All right. So we're finishing up. We're going to finish up. Y'all know how we do. Hit that last like for me for the rest of the show. And then we're getting into our 45 seconds. So y'all know Fridays, this is where we where we check the scoreboard as far as whether or not we accomplished our goal that we set out Sunday and Monday to make this our greatest week ever. So let's finish out that Friday strong. But first, we got to put ourselves in the best mindset. So we're going to take 45 seconds, clear your mind, manifest, meditate, do your breath work, breathe out all the negative energy, breathe in all the positive, whatever it is that you need to do for 45 seconds. If you're in a safe place, please close your eyes. And if not, don't. But still take the time to just clear your mind and do whatever you need to do to put yourself in the right mindset. And we will start that now. All right, one last breath out, exhaling all the BS, inhaling all the positive vibes, positive energy. Y'all know what we come here to do, elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, challenging ourselves to raise our standards so we can become the best leaders that are needed now more than ever, and also to develop into the people that we need to develop into so we can accomplish these outlandish, arrogant goals. Y'all know what we on. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Get to that bag. This is the day where we check what's in our bag. All the things that we collected throughout the week, the smaller things that are going to add up to hopefully keep us aligned with our pursuit of our purposeful abundance. Yeah, what's in your bag is in your bag. Hopefully the things that are in my bag that I will check for today are going to be the things that align with peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity. And on that note, I shall see y'all soon. Y'all have an amazing weekend. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all know what it is. Another great week. We're all blessed. Look at the glass half full. Look at this just full. There's something in it. We're excited about it. We all got the opportunity to do some amazing things in life. We are here. We can become anything that we want to become, whoever we want to become, and achieve anything that we want to achieve. Just put the plan in play and understand that it comes with a certain level of sacrifice, and then we'll accomplish it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Ant said, have a good weekend, good people. Ebony said, peace and blessing, peace and blessed things to Allah. Oh, hold on. Did I say it right? Hold on, that may be a new word, Eb. I feel like I don't even want to try to pronounce it. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Oh, peace and blessings to all. My bad. I'm over here diving into it a little bit too much. Solar love, family. Love that. Love that. And Sheba, make sure that if you have Instagram, connect with us. We're at the OHGI Network. Follow us. We'll throw you in the chat with us. Oh, all ya. Oh, all right. Peace to all ya. All right, I like that. I'm gonna start using that. Actually, that sounds a little too feminine. Nah, let me stop. So you get that pride and ego out of there. I like it. Trini love. All right, there you go. Yeah, I forgot y'all both Trini. I knew that was coming. Yeah. Yeah. That's a Trini way. Oh, okay. I get it. I like it anyway. Whatever. All right, I'll see y'all soon, man. Let me get out of here. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for tapping in. Hit the like on your way out. And if you're feeling real generous, maybe share, send the broadcast to a friend. It's not feminine, it's Trini. I'm just joking. All right, I'll see y'all later. All right, bye.